The next session, I would like to request Dr. GURURAJ Specialty Chemicals. Please come on stage for the topic technical session on matte wood finishes, importance of flattening agent. Dr. GURURAJ. So please help us to welcome Dr. GURURAJ Additives Specialty Chemicals. With the biggest round of applause, he's going to talk about technical session on matte wood finishes, importance of flattening agent.
Hello.
Can we welcome Dr. GURURAJ on stage, ladies and gentlemen? I was expecting little more clappings. Please help me to welcome Dr. GURURAJ on stage. Thank you.
नहीं है ये ना फॉरवर्ड
So, ladies and gentlemen, Dr. GURURAJ from Raj Specialty Additives Private Limited on board. Everybody, please help us to welcome him.
Hello friends, am I audible? Namaskar. I am Dr. GURURAJ from Raj Specialty Additives. I am here to give a technical session. It's not a commercial session, so it will be more of theory and practical tips. And I'll not be selling any of my products out here. So I'm here to talk about the matting agents, or the theory or the chemistry or the physical chemistry behind the matting agents in this half an hour that has been given to me. So let's start. I'll be covering certain main topics in concern with the matting agent. Just to give you an idea what's coming in the next half an hour, I'll be talking about what is matting, why matting, expectations from matting agents, then how do the matting agents work, parameters that affect the matting properties of each product, and the choices of matting agents, and some few practical hints that will be coming with this. So let's start with the first topic, what is matting? Now, when we are talking about matting, I would like to give a simile or example देना चाहूँगा मैं कि अब जब matting के बारे में बात करते हैं तो ये समझना ज़रूरी है कि matting क्या है, what is matting? So before we go to matting, I would like to tell you a simile like, how do we say, what is darkness? How do we measure darkness? Darkness यानी क्या? अंधेरा यानी क्या? अंधेरा यानी उजाले की कमी. Darkness is absence of light. So you cannot measure darkness. So the measure of darkness is the measure of your illumination, the luminance, and जितना वो कम होगा उतना dark ज़्यादा होगा. So similarly, matting is absence of gloss. So first you'll have to understand what is gloss. When you understand gloss, then you'll understand the absence of gloss is matting. The gloss is basically a reflection. When a light beam falls on the surface, it reflects at an angle. The amount of the reflection that is caught in the glossometer is the gloss. So gloss is an optical property which indicates how well the surface reflects light. A mirror-like effect basically. तो जब gloss absent होता है तो matte होता है. तो जितना gloss कम हुआ उतना matte ज़्यादा हुआ. So there is no proper way or scientific way to measure matting. You always measure gloss, and jitna gloss kam hua utna matting hua can be deduced. So now that we have understood what is matting, why matting? Here I would like to ask you, we are all paint manufacturers, we are all technical people, we are all intelligent people. Yeah, before that, this is a diagrammatic representation of how gloss comes. There's a reflection of light that's happening. All the four beams are getting reflected. When you use a matting agent, they are not being reflected, and this produces the matting effect. again, as I said, degree of matting is always dependent on the loss of gloss. जितना gloss कम हुआ उतना matting होगा. Yeah, coming to the next topic, why matting? Can somebody tell me matting क्यों करना है आपको? कोई भी? Arun sahib? To reduce the glare, yes, that's a functional use. To give a different look, yeah, aesthetic purpose. Exactly. These are two. So why matting? As he rightly said, one is the aesthetic purpose, another is the functional purpose. Functional purpose may reduce the glare, to hide the imperfections below the surface, can be a use. Aesthetic, yes, some people prefer a matte finish, or sometimes to enhance the effect of glossy effect, there's a certain patch which is used that is matte, so the glossy looks more glossy. So this is the function why matting is used. Matting otherwise doesn't give any other function, purpose. These are the two main purposes why matting is required. Coming to next, what are the expectations from matting agents? Matting agent जब use करते हैं तो उसमें से क्या expectation होना चाहिए? First and foremost and most important expectation is it has to have easy dispersibility. जब हम matting agent डालते हैं paint में, तो वो अच्छे से disperse हो जाना चाहिए, आसानी से disperse हो जाना चाहिए. That is the expectation that we have. It should easily disperse. अगर आपको बहुत ज़्यादा मेहनत करनी पड़ेगी to add the matting agent in your system, then that's not preferred. Who wants to do मेहनत? सब आलसी लोग हैं यहाँ पर. तो आसानी से घुल जाना चाहिए. That's the main requirement. The second requirement is good suspension stability. जब मैं suspension stability बोल रहा हूँ, तो suspension stability basically is what? It is consisting of two parts. First, आपने disperse तो कर दिया dispersing से, but वो कितनी देर तक disperse रहता है? The stability of that dispersion is an important factor. तो matting agent जब select करते हैं तो ऐसा select कीजिए जो ज़्यादा देर तक stable रहे. Of course, settling तो होना ही है. There is, if anybody says that it will never settle, then you are defying law of gravity. It is going to settle sometime sooner or later. How late it settles down, it's better. The second aspect of stability is how easily it can be redispersed. How much energy it is required to redisperse the same matting agent that has settled down. So basically we don't want it to have hard settling. वो नीचे जम नहीं जाना चाहिए, नीचे बैठ जाए चलेगा, वापस थोड़ा shear मिल जाए. It has to come back in the system and function equally. So this is the second main requirement, good suspension stability. Third requirement is, अब हम सब business वाले हैं, जितना कम inventory रखेंगे उतना better है. तो matting agent जो हर एक system से compatible हो is always preferred. Yes, but this comes with another aspect, a commercial aspect only in this. When you're expecting compatibility with multiple systems, you have to see your volumes. If you have multiple high volumes of multiple systems, then sometimes it is more economical to buy a system-specific matting agent. Some matting agents work for only NC melamine, some are designed for PU, and highly compatible, which works in all the systems, will obviously work with all the systems, but they will be costing much higher. And a system-specific matting agent can give you some more advantages in performance as compared to multi-system matting agent. So, though it is a desired feature, compatibility with multiple systems, but it can be thought upon on case-to-case basis. You can use specific matting agents as well. Third is high matting power with low dose. Dosage कम होना चाहिए matting agent का. अब ये क्यों? Dosage कम क्यों होना चाहिए? इसके दो वजह हैं. एक तो आप ज़्यादा डोजेज डालोगे तो पैसा तो आपको ही देना है. It is going to add to the cost. So the lower the dose, the better. This is the commercial aspect, not very important. The more important aspect of it is when you are adding a higher dose of matting agent. If you need to use higher dose of matting agent, what happens is you are increasing the PVC. You are reducing the solvent. Higher dose will also translate into higher viscosity. So to maintain the flowability or the workability, you will have to increase the solvent and dilute it further. So the film properties, the hardness, the protective properties, you are compromising on as you go on increasing the dose. So a lower dose is always preferred technically and commercially, both the ways. Next is, this is again a desired feature or a mandatory feature sometimes, because when a client comes to you, it's not always that he desires a dead matte finish. He might say, I want slightly less gloss, or he might have his own requirement as desired. So you should be able to adjust the matting by adjusting the dose. ऐसा matting agent आपको नहीं select करना है जिसमें you will get either this or that, or you should have the flexibility. Sometimes, or majority times, what everyone does is they make glossy paint. Order 100 किलो का आ गया, matting agent चाहिए, उसको फिलाना, like he wants certain percentage of matte. He doesn't want dead matte. तो आप तुरंत उतना ही डाल के कर सकते हैं. But certain matting agents can't be used at end stage. They are not stir-in. So those products you will not have the flexibility of giving the desired result of matting. So selection of matting agent, that is also an important aspect or expectation के आपको desired level of matting आप दे पाए. Next important is it should not influence the rheological property. As I said earlier in description, rheology property अगर rheology बढ़ गया, उसका viscosity बढ़ गया, तो आपको उसको फिर workable करने के लिए dilute करना पड़ेगा. Your performance is going to suffer. So a matting agent should not affect the rheology properties significantly. थोड़ा बहुत हो जाए, can be adjusted, but it should not be a very significant change in rheology of the system, your whole paint. Coming to next is, it should have little influence on the coated surface due to mechanical and chemical stress. When I'm saying this, we are talking about furniture enamels. We are talking about floor coatings. तो वो floor के ऊपर या table के ऊपर, suppose आपके table के ऊपर आपने matte finish coat किया हुआ है और उस पे गरम कप का चाय रख दिया. This is a stress that is happening to the surface of the coating. तो वो गरम कप का चाय हो या chilled आप कोका कोला का बॉटल रख देंगे या कभी केचप गिर गया. All these things should not affect the surface, otherwise your paint is failed. So your matting agent should not affect these properties, and it should have very little influence on the coating surfaces because of the stress that is created on it. The next requirement is, as it was told in the earlier presentation, many of the coatings are transparent. The aesthetic need is you should be able to see the wood as it is. So high transparency is another requirement for matting agent in many of the coatings. Of course, this will not be a requirement in a pigmented system, but in a clear coat, yes, this is a very high requirement. So आपका selection उस हिसाब से होगा. When you are talking about clear coats, this is a very much mandatory requirement or expectation from a matting agent. Consistent quality, obviously yes, quality has to be consistent. Now consistency will come when a product is made synthetically. If you are using any natural product, something that's come from the earth or something that's come from bees or some natural waxes, those are not consistent because nature keeps changing, environment changes, so those products are going to have more variation and fluctuation in their own properties, and जब उसके properties change होंगे तो उसका performance भी change होगा, उसका results भी change होगा. So a synthetic matting agent is preferred when you are using, selecting a matting agent, because only then you will give a consistent quality. आज एक batch निकला, कल दूसरा batch कुछ और निकलेगा नहीं तो. So prefer a synthetic because that is going to give you consistent quality. The next or last expectation is the matting agent by itself must be chemically inert. It should not react with your system, or it should not, by its reaction after application with the atmosphere, cause any problems to the paint surface or its durability or its aesthetic purpose. So it's a requirement that the matting agent that is being used has to be chemically inert. Now, these are 10 points. I would like to show them again once and go through it fast so that you can make a note of it. First requirement is easy dispersibility. Second is good suspension stability. Third is it should be compatible with most systems. Fourth is high matting power, low dose. Fifth is it should be adjustable to get a desired degree of matting. Sixth is little or no effect on its rheological properties. It must have little influence on the coating surface due to stress. It should be chemically inert, high transparency, and consistent quality. Now that we have understood what are the expectations from matting agents, the next point that we'll be covering is how do they work? What is the functionality? How do they perform? How do they produce the matting effect? Let's try and understand that. Basically, matting effect is reduced by reducing gloss by introducing a roughness on the surface. Gloss कब आता है? जब surface smooth होता है, mirror finish जैसा होता है, light reflects. You create roughness in that, and the light reflection deviates, and you get the matte effect. You don't get the gloss, and you get the matte effect. The gloss reduces. So basically, what you are trying to do is you are trying to create a rougher surface as compared to the earlier to create the matting effect. Now, this roughness, how do we get this roughness? What does it depend upon? There are two main important factors. One is the orientation of the matting agent particles in the system, in your coating surface, how they are oriented. Depending on that, you will get the matting. Second is the state of dispersion. We will understand the importance of these two things when we discuss the further points, like parameters affecting matting जब discuss करेंगे, तब ये दो चीजें आपको ज़्यादा समझ में आएंगी. So these are, but make a mental note of it, orientation of particles and the dispersion. These are two important factors which will help you understand when you formulate your product. Coming to how do they work, basically the film surface micro roughness is created. Most commonly, majority of the times, it is because of film shrinkage. The solvent evaporates, the film shrinks, and this is what happens. You can see a wet coat, and after it has dried, the solvent has gone, and the matting agent is creating a roughness, and that creates the matte effect by reflecting or deflecting the light rays in different direction. So this is the way it works. Film shrinkage is one. Second point is the size and number of matting agent particles. Now this said, this what I have described is the conventional coating system which dries by film shrinkage. When your solvent evaporates, this works. But there are other methods of matting which are there available in the market for your other kind of products. We'll come to that. That's what I just said is mentioned here. In the conventional system, it is easy to matte because the film shrinkage is there. But in a non-conventional, like your 100% product, solid system, radiation curing or UV cured PU coats, there's no film shrinkage happening. To produce a matting effect in that, it becomes more difficult. The dosage of your matting agent increases, and there are other chemistries which are used there, which can be used. We'll talk about that. I'll just mention that when we come to the options of matting agent. But you need to understand if you are expecting the same degree of matting that you get in a conventional, using the same dose, you will not get the same degree of matting in a non-conventional system or like 100% solids or UV cured, radiation cured product. So the dose will go higher. Maybe the selection of your matting agent will change. So you need to understand that, because that's when your expectations from your product or your formulation will be right. Otherwise you will be misled and ending up doing wrong things. Now what are the parameters affecting matting? अब पैरामीटर्स अफेक्ट करने वाले बहुत से पैरामीटर्स है. लेट्स गो वन बाय वन. द एवरेज particle size affects matting. We need to basically, what we have understood when we saw sorry, how matting agent works is we have to create a rough surface. Now the smaller the particle size, the smoother the surface, the lesser the matting. The bigger the particle size, rougher the surface, more matting. But this has to be, you have to see the other side of the coin as well, because the bigger the particle size, the faster the settling. So you have to maintain a balance between the particle size. आपको कितना बड़ा चाहिए, कितना छोटा चाहिए, वो आप डिसाइड करेंगे कि मैटिंग एजेंट सेटल भी ना हो मगर ये भी क्रिएट करे. So, but as a paint manufacturer, I don't think you need to worry too much about that. That's our headache. The matting agent manufacturer has to provide you with the right particle size so that the settling is slowest, least, and at the same time the matting effect is the best. Second, as I said, dosage. जितना ज़्यादा डालेंगे उतना matting ज़्यादा होगा. After having said that, the dosage depends on your degree of matting that you need. आपको कम matting चाहिए, dose. For example, let's say your glossy product is having glossometer reading of 96 and you want to get it to only 60. You might need a certain dose. But if you need a matting effect, gloss reading आपको 96 से आपको 40 पे आना है, तो आपको डोज बढ़ाना पड़ेगा. But it doesn't go proportionally. As you initial dose of matting agent for getting a small level of matting will be low. कि थोड़ा सा डालेंगे matting ज़्यादा होगा, मगर जैसे आपको ज़्यादा matting चाहिए, आपको डोज ज़्यादा बढ़ाना पड़ेगा. Like to come from 96 to below 20, you might need 7 kgs, but to come from 96 to 70, you might need only 1 kg. So it's not going proportional. So you will need to adjust the dose of matting agent accordingly. The more matting you need, the more higher the dose. Less matting चाहिए तो dose काफी कम हो जाएगा. It's not simple algebra. Okay, so that's what you need to understand about the concentration. Okay. Now we are talking about orientation and the dispersion के बारे में अभी आपको ज़्यादा समझ में आएगा. Type of coating system. See, there are different coating systems. You have acrylics, you have NCs, you have melamine, you have PU, you have water-based PU. Different systems have different chemical properties, physical properties. तो मैटिंग एजेंट के पार्टिकल्स किस सिस्टम में ज़्यादा अच्छे से ओरिएंट हो जाते हैं, वो सिस्टम कितना परफेक्शन में है, उसका खुद का स्ट्रक्चर, उस हिसाब से मैटिंग एजेंट वेरी करेगा. मैटिंग एजेंट्स विल वर्क वेरी वेल in your NCs, melamine. In your PU, the dose required might be higher because the orientation is better. So, depending on what system you are using, your matting agent dosage will also change. So, system makes a difference. Application process also makes a difference, because if the application of paint is by spray, you are simply implanting the matting agent and the coat there, and there is no orientation that's happening, and the matting effect is best. But if you are applying with a roller, you are somehow creating some orientation in the surface particle size. And if you are using a brush, you are actually, while applying, you are orienting the particles, and they get more oriented and you get a lesser rough surface. So application also affects, तो आपको जब किसी को देना है मैट इफेक्ट डिजायर्ड डिग्री, और तो आपको पूछना पड़ेगा यूज़र को कि एप्लीकेशन कैसे होने वाला है, या वो स्प्रे एप्लीकेशन करने वाला है तो आपको डोजेज अलग देना पड़ेगा, अगर वो ब्रश एप्लीकेशन करने वाला है और आपने स्प्रे से टेस्ट किया तो he will not get that matting effect that he has asked for and he will reject your paint. So application technique पूछना ज़रूरी है जब आप formulate कर रहे हैं. I'll take point number 5, 6 and 8 together. Basically 5 is the drying temperature, 6 is humidity, 8 is solvents. What is happening is टेम्परेचर बढ़ता है, योर ड्राइंग बिकम्स फास्टर, ह्यूमिडिटी बढ़ता है, ड्राइंग स्लो हो जाता है. सॉल्वेंट आप सिलेक्शन फास्ट ड्राइंग सॉल्वेंट ले रहे हैं या स्लो ड्राइंग सॉल्वेंट ले रहे हैं, उसके ऊपर से आपका ड्राइंग टाइम चेंज हो रहा है. बेसिकली व्हाट वी आर टॉकिंग अबाउट इन ऑल दीज 3 पॉइंट्स इज द ड्राइंग टाइम. इफ द फिल्म सरफेस ड्राइज फास्ट, वी डोंट गिव इट टाइम टू ओरिएंट द टाइम टू द पार्टिकल्स टू ओरिएंट इटसेल्फ. इट्स अ सडन fixing of the particles. If it's slow drying, the particles get time to orient it. Like धीरे धीरे कम हो रहा है तो particles थोड़े बहुत अपने आप में adjust करके orient हो जाते हैं. You will get less matting. So faster the drying, higher the matting. I didn't talk about coating thickness. Obviously yes, जितना मोटा paint का layer होगा उतना matting agent ज़्यादा लगेगा because it has to fill the entire system equally so that you get a matting effect. There is no extra resin that is going to left at the, जितना resin ऊपर रहेगा उतना matte कम होगा. तो the matting agent has to reach till the surface, so thicker the coat, higher the matting dosage. There are certain additives that will affect the matting agent. Like if you are using a flow leveling agent in your system, again the particles are going to get oriented and your matting effect will come down. It has been seen that use of certain silicon based product also affects the matting properties. If you are using silicon based products, your matting agent dosage will go up, you will expect lesser results. So use of additives is also this thing. And obviously the dispersion, agar dispersion अच्छा नहीं है, so you are not going to get the desired results in matting uniformly. कहीं ज़्यादा आएगा, कहीं कम आएगा. So dispersion has to be good and stable. So that covers, I think, the dispersion, the parameters affecting matting. Now that we have understood all these points, what is matting, why matting, what are the expectations from matting agents, how the matting agents work, and the parameters affecting, we'll now come to the most important aspect, is what are the options we have. There are many options we have. Let's see them in the following order. Commonly used are the fillers, then come the waxes, and the third one that I've mentioned is the silica-based, the precipitated silica-based matting agents. These are the 3 options I'll be talking about today. Let's start with the simplest, fillers. You can use calcium carbonate, you can use talc, you can use metallic stearates, zinc stearate use karte, calcium stearate use kar sakte hain. These products can be used for matting. What is seen with majority of the fillers, there can be exceptions in the filler category also for what I'm talking about general. What is seen is this method is limited only to the pigmented and economical class of paint. These cannot be used in clear coats because majority of them will create some opacity. And the disadvantages of this is the dosage of the fillers, if they are used as matting agent, is usually on the higher side. So when you are using on a higher side, we already spoke about PVC. We are reducing the film strength, the film protective properties. So that's a disadvantage of fillers. Then we already said they impart opacity and cannot be used to clear matte clear coats. They cannot be used, yeah, this is an important point. Usually these fillers need to be used at a grinding stage. They have to be used in the initial stage along with the pigment and ground well for better dispersion. They are not stir in. एंड स्टेज आपने ग्लॉसी बनाया, लास्ट में मुझे इसको मैट बनाना है, ग्लॉसी को मैट कन्वर्ट करना है, तो फिलर्स आर नॉट easily dispersed. They cannot be dispersed very easily in stir-in. They need to be ground. So these are not a choice for end stage conversion of a glossy to matte. आपको शुरुआत से ही अगर आपको पता है कि हाँ मैट फिनिश बनाना है और मुझे ये डिग्री ऑफ मैट चाहिए है, तो आप ये कर सकते हैं. एंड स्टेज पे आप नहीं कर सकते. So the limitation that I'm trying to say is you cannot get a desired degree of matting with this. You will have to pre-decide the degree of matting that you need before you start production. So those are the disadvantages of fillers. Waxes is a big topic by itself. There are many waxes available in the market. There are certain very good ones also. So I'm just touching this topic. Waxes are can be used as matting agent. There are natural waxes, there are synthetic waxes that can be used, and they usually work by floating to the surface of the coating layer and creating the imperfection, thereby dispersing the light unevenly and reducing the gloss. That's the mechanism how they work. They don't work like silica or fillers by being in the full system. नीचे का wax किसी काम का नहीं. So that's about the waxes. Let's come to silica. These are the most commonly used, most popular matting agents that are available in the market. When I'm saying silica, it is usually precipitated silica, or it is pyrogenic silica, or fumed silica as we call it, that can be used. Precipitated is the most common. Pyrogenic is expensive and not so commonly used, and it also influences the rheology. So they are used limited. So they are very effective in reducing the gloss. As compared to the fillers, their dose required is very low. And they are compatible with all the systems. You have silica which is compatible with multiple systems. You can have it system-wise also and multiple system also. So these are the silica. Now when we are talking about silica, they are treated and untreated. Treated silicas not only provide high matting efficiency, but they also provide certain performance properties like chemical resistance or burnishing resistance is provided by the treated versions. So these are the advantages. Let's talk more about silica. What are the properties? As we spoke about the particle size, the smaller particle, lesser the matting, the bigger the particle, higher the matting. That's what I've mentioned here. Yeah, so we spoke about treated and untreated silicas. When we speak about untreated silicas, they have a higher tendency to settle down. They'll settle down faster. They'll settle down harder. To overcome this, you have to do you have two options. You can either go for the treated versions, which are more easy to disperse. They are more stable in your system. They will settle down slower and they will redisperse faster. The second option is, along with the untreated silica, you'll have to use a stronger anti-settling agent at a higher dose to keep them in suspension to produce the stability. And usually, it is a fumed silica product that is used to get this anti-settling effect if you are using the untreated version. All said and done, but you need to make a note of this, that when a filler settles, it's usually hard settling. When a silica settles, it's more easier to redisperse it. So silica has that advantage over fillers. This is another thing that you need to take care of if you're making water-based clear coats and you're using precipitated silica. You cannot use her type of thickeners because her type of thickeners don't work with precipitated silica. You will need to use a haze type thickener if you're making a water-based system using matting agent as well. To brief what I've said, advantages of silica, they're very efficient at lower dose. They provide very high film clarity. They're not as expensive as they are perceived to be. So they're pretty much economical. And the advantages, coatings which are made with बाद में आ जाओ यार बाद में yeah, the last point is coatings that are made using silica as matting agents are very easily recoatable. You can give it a second coat without any problem. They don't interfere with your recoatability. Most of the silicas, rather all of the silicas are stirring products. They can be added at the end stage. आप gloss को matte कर सकते हैं, चाहिए उतना, चाहिए जितना कर सकते हैं, and you can get that. So these silicas are stirring products. You can use it at the end stage. That is a big advantage that they have, and they are pretty easy to disperse. They don't need grinding. आपको grinding high speed stirring में या मीडियम स्पीड स्टीयरिंग में भी आप उसको डिस्पर्स कर सकते हैं. रादर इधर मैं ये बोलूँगा कि बहुत ज़्यादा अगर स्टीयरिंग करेंगे तो उसका वापस पार्टिकल साइज छोटा होते जाएगा एंड योर मैटिंग इफेक्ट विल रिड्यूस. सो डोंट स्टर इट टू मच. If your manufacturer has recommended a certain time, or if you have tried it in your lab, okay, I need to stir it for 5 minutes with my equipment, don't say कि ज़्यादा किया तो अच्छा है. It is going to affect wrongly. So stirring, they are all stirring product. Desirable degree of matting can be achieved. Now, what are the limitations of silica? They are sensitive to scratches. Silica is a soft product. They are sensitive to scratches. They don't affect the hardness of the film, but they are giving the results by coming to the surface, and they are sensitive to scratches. They are very light, so little bit difficult in handling or while use. So, but उतना भी मुश्किल नहीं है, मगर है. They can show settling in some time, after some time, as I said earlier, and they are less efficient in your modern high solid or solvent-free system as compared to the solvent-based system. But they are certainly more effective than the fillers. So that is a limitation that we have. When we are talking about options, our company, RSA, has a vision of trying to provide you. We'll be coming out with this product soon. A pre-dispersed matting agent, जब आपको stirring भी करना नहीं पड़ेगा, it will be available in a pre-dispersed stage, in a liquid paste form, which you just add as desired, and work is going on. We'll soon be coming out with this. Coming to practical hints, the last topic, these are very important. How do you measure matting? You measure matting by measuring the gloss. Usually 60-degree glossometer is the considered standard for measuring the gloss when you're talking in reference to the matting. So jitna gloss kam hua, utna matting hua. You use a 60-degree glossometer to measure the matting effect. Rheological behavior, matting agents should not have effect on the rheology. So that's a hint you need to see. A matting agent use करने के बाद आपका viscosity बढ़ तो नहीं रहा है, बढ़ना नहीं चाहिए, significantly तो नहीं चाहिए. Now, practical hints about dispersion and stability. I have already spoken about this earlier, but I'll restate it. Untreated matting agents tend to settle down faster, tend to settle down slightly harder as compared to treated. So this is a behavior. It can be taken care of by using a treated matting agent, or it can be taken care of by adding a fumed silica based anti-settling agent. फॉर्मुलेशन, जब फॉर्मुलेशन कर रहे हैं आप मैटिंग एजेंट का प्रोडक्ट जिसमें आपको मैट इफेक्ट चाहिए है, तो a solvent with low evaporation point will have better matting as we discussed. It will evaporate faster, film will dry faster, मैटिंग इफेक्ट ज़्यादा अच्छा आएगा, आपका डोज कम होगा मैटिंग एजेंट का. रेजिन कौन सा है उस हिसाब से भी आपको मैटिंग एजेंट का डोजेज सेट करना होगा. Certain resins require a higher dose, certain resins will require a lower dose of matting agent. So keep that in mind. As I said earlier, I'm re-stressing the point, whenever you are formulating the matting agent, do ask the applicator what is the method of application. उस हिसाब से आप टेस्ट कीजिए, उस हिसाब से उसको बना के दीजिएगा. So application और डोजेज का रिलेशन भी आपको ध्यान रखना है. सिलेक्शन एंड हैंडलिंग के बारे में प्रैक्टिकल हिंट्स है. You have to take care of the chemical resistance, one of the major requirement. Your matting agent should not affect the properties, the protective properties of wood coating. See, when we are talking about wood coating के दो parameters हैं. Usually other paints, when you are talking about industrial coating, it's usually the protective parameter which has more weightage. When we are talking about decorative, it's more aesthetic that is got more weightage. But when you are talking about wood coating, both the parameters have equal advantage. It needs to look good also, and it needs to be protective also. So select a matting agent that has least effect on the properties of your final coat. The second point in this is handling. These silicas have a tendency of creating a electrostatic charge. We have seen in recent past lots of fire incidents happening and lots of accidents happening in the paint industry. Solvent रहता है, हमने choose किया fast drying solvent which are highly inflammable. So this electrostatic charge that is being generated can be a big risk to your company. So take care of grounding everything properly so that the electrostatic charge is disseminated and dispersed, removed off, and you prevent your fire hazards. So take care when you are handling silica-based matting agents of the electrostatic charge. That is a mandatory safety requirement which is to be followed. अब इतना देर मैंने आपका दिमाग खाया, आपको अगर ये सब भूल जाना है, so this last slide can help you select a silica-based matting agent very easily. आपको सिर्फ 4 चीज़ें ध्यान देनी है. आपको economics चाहिए है तो go for the untreated version of the precipitated silica. It's cheaper and it works. Matting effect अच्छा आता है, कोई फ़र्क नहीं पड़ता. Matting effect उतना ही आएगा जितना treated का है. Matting effect में कोई फ़र्क नहीं पड़ता. डोज थोड़ा बहुत ज़्यादा कम हो जाता है, उसके साथ एंटी सेटलिंग यूज़ करो. इकोनॉमिक्स अगर आपका प्रायोरिटी है, गो फॉर द अनट्रीटेड वर्जन. नहीं, आपको कन्वीनियंस भी चाहिए है, यू नीड टू डिस्पर्स इट फास्टर, ईजियर. मुझे वो टेंशन नहीं चाहिए कि जल्दी सेटल होगा, कंप्लेंट आएगी या रीडिस्पर्स होने में तकलीफ हो रहा है. Go for the treated version, that is ease in dispersion and stability of dispersion. Go for the treated version. Now, if you have a finish requirement, then there are other versions, like if you want a silky finish, go for that. It's a treatment given which gives the silky finish. It's not the silica which is giving the silky finish. Or if you want a soft velvety finish, you have those also. So depending on your requirement, आपको क्या ज़रूरी है, उस हिसाब से आप select कीजिए, and you are done. You can forget the rest. भूल जाइए सब कुछ. So these are the practical ends, and with this we come to the end of this presentation. मनीष जी, मैंने आपसे इजाज़त तो नहीं ली, मगर मैं थोड़ा एक पर्सनल काम भी कर रहा हूँ. RSA basically is very involved, actively involved with organ donation drive. We are people who strongly believe in recycle and reuse. So this is a requirement of the country where there are many people waiting for the organs and there are not enough donors. So we try to create awareness, aap organ donor bano, because every person who signs up for organ donation can save minimum 8 lives. So it's a very significant thing that you can make a difference by reusing and recycling your organs to the person who's in need and making their life better. So share your life, share your decision. At our stall, we have donor cards. You can register yourself. Feel free to go there and sign up. This is a decision you have to take for the better of the mankind, humankind. लोगों का लाइफ अच्छा करो. ऐसा नहीं है कि ये आपने अभी साइन किया तो आपके बाद ज़बरदस्ती कोई आके आपके ऑर्गन छीन के जाने वाला है. You will have to intimate this to your relatives and then they will facilitate it. This is just to make a conscious decision कि okay, I want to donate organs, and it will be fed in the registry and आगे ease हो जाएगा आपके बाद आपके रिश्तेदारों के लिए. So feel free to go to our stall and sign up for organ donation. And with that request, I come to the end of my thing. There's one more thing I missed out telling. The last slide जो मैंने बताया था, आपको सिल्क फिनिश चाहिए या स्मूथ वेलवेटी फिनिश चाहिए, अगर आप उसको फील करना चाहते हैं तो go to our stall. We have drawdowns. You can check out, feel them. और आपको क्या चाहिए, just एक फीलिंग के लिए आप जाके देख सकते हैं. We have drawdowns in our stall. Go and check them out. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Can we have a big round of applause? Thank you. And special thanks for that beautiful message to the society. Because business with blessings. I'm telling you, ladies and gentlemen, business with blessings. No one can compete you. Thank you so much for this wonderful message. I would like to request Mr. Anil Agarwal, Kasen Thinner. Sir, please come on stage and help us to felicitate sir. Mr. Anil Agarwal. Mr. Anil Agarwal. And I would like to request Mr. Kanu. Acha, aage sir. Mr. Anil Agarwal, Kasen Thinner, with the biggest round of applause, ladies and gentlemen. And also I have a small message for all of you. So 9th, 10th and 11th October, Expo Center, that's in Dubai. Edel Social Expo, Emirates 2023. Construction, architecture and design gonna happen. Biggest round of applause, everybody. It was a very insightful and informative session for all of us. So for any more information, you can contact the stall here. Edel Social Expo, you can see. Emirates 2023, Construction, Architecture and Design, 9th, 10th and 11th of October. It's going to happen in Dubai. And let me tell you, it's an international exhibition. So it's a wonderful opportunity for all of you. Thank you, gentlemen. Thank you.